there were, I don't know if you follow Twitter and all that, but there was a hack this week, yes, last week, where a bunch of verified Twitter accounts got hacked and taken over, and they started tweeting out uh, Bitcoin, like, send me a Bitcoin, I'll send you 2 Bitcoin, that sort of thing. I'm giving away Bitcoin, you got to give me one to give it, whatever. A bunch of famous people got hacked. Apparently, a bunch of YouTube channels are getting hacked today as we speak. And I was a little nervous, to be honest, looking down just to make sure that the channel actually worked. I kept hitting refresh. I'm like, yes, I'm still logged in. Yes, I'm still logged in. The Bitcoin people, I don't know. I don't know that YouTube is the audience for maybe more Twitter. But yeah, I don't think people who watch YouTube have Bitcoin. They do. I think they're smart enough that they're not going to give you Bitcoin. Anyway, I don't know. Anybody who has Bitcoin probably is smart enough not to give people Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin, and I know not to give people Bitcoin. Don't give anybody Bitcoin. That's all you got to know. Doesn't matter if Elon Musk says that Bitcoin, then he'll give you all the Bitcoin. Don't give Elon Musk, even if it is Elon Musk. Um, hey everyone, welcome to episode 54 of Gear Talk. Gear Talk is the show that I do every other week where I talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. We talk about the difference between carbon boots and plastic boots. Talk about 165, 195, Trinity, and UFS. If you know what all of those numbers and acronyms mean, this is the show for you. We get really geeky on this stuff and talk about angles of things, shock absorption, thickness of materials. If that is your sort of thing, I do this every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. live here on YouTube. We love to do it live because I usually get a few dozen people in the, there's 35 people, so maybe more than a few dozen. I think I've seen up to like 150 at one time. Not a huge amount of people. It is a fairly geeky audience. But if you're into that sort of thing, try to join us in the live stream. It's a lot of fun. I go through and read all of the chat afterwards, but the chat gets really fun when I start talking about things. They start saying stories, and I love reading back and looking at the stories of people who have experience with the skates and reminisce about the things they did, or they correct me when I'm wrong, and I get things wrong all the time. But it is really great to do it live every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you are listening to this on the podcast, or if you're watching later, please, if you do have a question for me, feel free to comment in the YouTube video. I always put a link in the podcast description to the YouTube video. Always happy to answer your questions. If I don't have an answer, I will try to get it for you. I'm really good about reading YouTube comments. Really difficult to read Instagram comments and Facebook messages and stuff like that. That's where I get a lot of spam, and a lot of people just I love every message, but I have a hard time reading every message. The interface isn't really built to consume all of those messages, whereas YouTube, I do a really good job of at least liking messages that I read, commenting on messages that I can comment on, and answering questions when I can. So if you are not in the live stream, leave a message on the video. I would love to answer your question. If you are in the live stream and you have a question for me, or you just have a comment, please make sure that you tag Back to Blading on your question, because I have a hard time seeing the live stream when it's flying by. And if you tag Back to Blading, it shows up in yellow so that I can see it. That is the intro. I hope everybody is doing well out there. I hope everybody is safe and healthy. Like I do in the beginning of every week, I wanted to thank the helmetinitiative.org for donating some helmets to me to give away. So far, we've given away about a dozen helmets. Last week, we gave away 2 helmets randomly enough in the Netherlands. So thank you so much to Evo at This Is Soul for helping me out with that and sending out the helmets there. I've been contacting shops all around the globe trying to get helmets to people who need them. If you are one of those people who need the helmet, here's the rules. So all that you need to do is leave a comment in the YouTube video, not in the live stream, but in the YouTube video itself, and say, hey, I need a helmet. No questions asked. I know that times can be tough sometimes. I know that helmets are the last thing that you want to buy. Spend $50. You'd rather get a set of wheels and bearings. Getting a helmet is just feels like a waste of money until you need it. And I want to make sure that if you need it and you can't afford it, then you have an option to get one. So leave a comment. Let me know if you need a helmet. I will get in touch with you. I usually pick 1 or 2 people at random every week. Depends on how many helmets I have. But I do everything that I can to get as many helmets out there as possible. It is really important to me that people can wear a helmet if they want to wear a helmet. And I think ultimately it's important that people want to wear a helmet. Now, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But it's very important that you protect yourself. Helmets are the most important piece of protective equipment out there. Break your leg, you could break your arm, you could break your elbow, break your head, you're in the hospital. There's no way around it. That's not a good way to be. So please wear a helmet. If you don't have a helmet and you need a helmet, leave a comment. Let me know, and I will try to get you a helmet. And thank you all so much for the support. Thank you to the Helmet Initiative for donating helmets. And thank you all for buying all of the merch, all the Back to Blading t-shirts. All of that stuff goes into the helmet fund. So anything that I sell, all of the ads, everything that I do for Back to Blading, all of those profits, after I get through, paying for the server and stuff like that, all of that stuff goes into so that I have money to send them out, so that I have money to buy. I don't have all of the helmets here. I have to buy some weird sizes sometimes. Buy all the helmets so that I can give them out. It's important to me, and I really appreciate your support. So thank you all so much, and let's get started about skates. So I have not big wheel skated in a while. I feel really bad about that. It's been a while. It's been probably a month. If you consider the 72s that I took out on the Wish frames with the USD carbons in Raleigh, big wheels, that's the last time that I skated big wheels. And that was a lot of fun, but I miss just skating big wheels. The problem here in North Carolina, we've got so much heat and rain. It's just crazy. We had that hurricane come through yesterday. We've had nothing but solid 90s good weather. I just don't deal with that sort of thing. So I usually do my aggressive skating on Saturday, do my big wheeling on Sunday. And for whatever reason, Sunday has been the day that it rains. And it's more to go out and skate aggressive. I prefer skating aggressive if I had to choose between the two. So skating big wheels is always a little difficult. I wish that I had... Oh, is it choppy? I'm sorry if it is. Like it's okay. All right. I try to get out on Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays are more difficult because it's raining. And if I'm editing the podcast, obviously, that's a big chunk of my day. But I do plan on going out. I do have these Zetra blades that I'm still trying to review. And I have some other skates on the way. So I've got 2 sets of skates that I'm going to be reviewing in the future. Super great. I'm really excited to make sure that everything's... Yeah, okay. Everything's okay. I'm on edge with this YouTube thing if they're going to cut off the audio as choppy. Audio is a mess. Uh-oh. Ew. Audio. If it is a mess, I apologize. Let's see. I added a filter this time so that I could clean up the audio, and it sounded good in the test, but maybe it doesn't sound great really. All right. Does everybody hear me now? Is the audio better? All right. Looks like it's okay now. The audio might be better. Doing things live by yourself is always a risk. Sometimes I do a good job. Sometimes I don't do a good job. It sounds like it's okay now, though. I turned off the filter that was going to be cutting things out. Volume is lower, but it sounds better. Okay. I will bring the microphone a little closer. How about that? That might help. There we go. Oh, yep. I did test this and it worked, but for whatever reason, it's not working now. So I apologize in advance. I hope that that's a little better. All right, it's going to be a little quieter, but it should work. The things that we do for the YouTube. Okay, it sounds better and it says no choppy. Okay. Thank you all so much in the live stream. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. I saw a lot of mentions, and I was like, huh, something's going on. I wonder what's going on. But it sounds like it's a little better now. Yes, so I was talking about big wheels, so I absolutely love skating big wheels. I haven't had a good chance to do it. I have been skating aggressive, though, so I'm super excited about skating all these different skates. It's been a 3 different skate section. So I skated the USD Carbons with the Wish frames, and after that I skated the Adapt Stealth. Where are they? The Adapt Stealth. So I was skating the Adapt Stealth in the past. I absolutely love these skates. Skated them again 2 weeks ago at Marsh. Put on the Fitty Fitty John Fromm frames and really had a blast. You know, these are amazing skates. I don't know if everybody has a chance to skate them. First of all, they're pretty rare. It's a handmade skate. They have to special order. They don't sell them in shops. And they're fairly pricey. If you compare them to like a classic plastic shell boot, these started around $400, boot only. That's an expensive skate for most people. And I totally understand it's not for everyone. If you do have a chance to buy a set, or if you can try a set used, this is an amazing skate. So first of all, it is fairly light. It's not the lightest skate that I have, but it is fairly light. It's one of the lighter skates that I have. And they do this by using carbon fiber. So this bottom area is all carbon fiber, and it goes all the way up to the top of the cuff. So the entire form area that you see is carbon fiber, and that's why it's expensive. You know, laying this carbon down is an expensive process. It takes time, it takes a lot of practice, and it's not cheap to do. After that, it is a hand-cut nubuck material that's really good about scratch protection and rubbing and protection from scrapes and hitting against coping and stuff like that. I fall a lot, and I haven't screwed these up yet. One of the biggest concerns that you have with cloth, like skinned skates, is if you fall, you ruin the skin and you can't really buff it out, you know? Like if you're skating a plastic shell, the plastic looks the same. So if you scratch it, it's gonna be the same as the plastic is on the outside. With this, you could scratch it and you could really ruin it. The comfort is the main thing. So this is a very soft tongue. It's fairly thin compared to other tongues, but it's a really nice squishy material. It's a soft padded material. And when you slide your foot in, it feels like you're wearing a shoe. The laces tie up super squishy, just like a nice, soft, comfortable shoe. And they really form fit to your foot. So I tie these up super tight. The tighter, the better. And that cinches my foot in. It makes it nice and comfortable. I don't have the 45-degree strap on. I should, but I don't know where it is. I know I have it somewhere. I've heard really good things about the 45-degree strap, though. And you know I love a 45-degree strap. Having something that will pull your foot into the back and keep it from heel lift, keep it from moving around, is really the goal of any good skate. You want that form fit. It's hard to do in a plastic boot. It's a lot easier to do with this really nice soft material, especially if it fits your foot really well. Absolutely love these skates. The sole plate. So this sole plate, I don't know what material they use, but it slides so fast, so smooth, so effortless. You lock on a sole with this, and you're just kind of coasting. It's nice and wide, so you don't have any problem with slipping out or missing sole tricks. At least I didn't have any problem with slipping out or missing sole tricks. It is a really nice groove, not too big, but not too shallow. It's very well positioned so that when you jump on, you know, you've got that natural 45-degree, 90-degree lock, which is the way that I do my royales and groove tricks. Here's the negative to them. So the love affair stops there. Here's the negative to them. For me, they are a little too stiff. So this cuff area extends all the way up. And the problem with that is when I'm trying to get boot down on a royale, you have to really push down. And I was able to do it, especially with a smaller frame, like a balance frame. Do I have a balance frame set up? I don't. They're all inside. especially with a lower frame like a balance frame or something with a deep groove, like if you had a Featherlight. I think I have a Featherlight. Oh, I have Kaiser fluids. So if you prefer to skate any rocker, if you got like a Kaiser fluid, this groove is more attainable. So this groove is very deep, and when you lock, you have a really nice clean angle. You don't have to get super boot down or super low to get boot down on this Royale. The taller the frame, the groove, the higher that angle is. And that means that if you want to get boot down to get really solid on your Royale, you're going to have to bend lower. You're going to have to squat more. You're going to have to put more weight on your quads. And for me, that's a really difficult thing. You know, I don't skate often enough to get those muscles. I don't skate these skates often enough to get used to it. I didn't have any problems landing Royales, but I wasn't super consistent landing Royales. I feel again that if I committed to skating these skates forever, I would probably get it. What I don't like about it is that I have to commit to skating these skates. I have to get down low. I have to get so that I know where the angle is for a Royale. Because typically, if I get that low on a Royale, I'll slide out. Like if you've probably seen my videos where I slide out on Royales over and over and over. I'm trying to fix that, and that means that I stand up a little straighter. If I don't get on the boot, though, immediately with these skates, I have a hard time pushing down, adjusting to get back on the boot. So that is my gripe. I think that they're a little stiff up in the cuff. Everything else is perfect. I think that if you were skating these as your only skates, you would probably love them. You would probably do a great job with your Royales. I think that if I were skating these as my only skates, I'd love them. I'd skate them, and I'd probably have no problem doing boot down Royales every single time. But because I switch skates all the time, I don't think that these are the perfect skates for me. I think they're an amazing skate. Definitely going to keep them and skate them as often as I can, but I don't know that these are my go-to skate. Simply because it is a little stiff up top. I mean, this would be perfect for most people. For me, it's a little stiff up top, and I don't think that it's the right skate for me. But that's not to say that I haven't found the right skate. So before I talk about the Salomons, I want to share my USD Carbons again. These, so far, I feel like are the perfect skate for me. And I know that I say that a lot. I said that about the USD 7. I absolutely love the USD 7s. I was able to do more tricks with these skates than the USD 7s. I was able to skate for longer with a more comfortable ride than the USD 7s. I feel like these are the skates for me. They are the USD Carbons. These are the 2018 version. They are the carbon version. They also make the plastic version, the carbon free. I am going to be skating these the next couple of weeks. So today's my birthday. I have a tradition where I do a session and I'll do a trick for every year that I am alive. So this year I am 44. So today is my 44th birthday. I'm going to attempt to do 44 tricks at Marsh this year. And these are the skates that are going to let me do it. So I am not going to be able to do it in one session. I think it's going to be a 2-session day, or a 2-day session, 2-day video. So I'll do the first half and then I'll do the second half. Especially with the heat, it's really hard to stay out there for more than an hour or so. But I feel really confident with these skates. I feel like I'm able to lock really solid. I feel like I'm able to do my airs, so I'll be able to do my 540, I'm sure. I feel like I'm able to do all of my grinds, so I'll be able to do my topside tricks that I wasn't able to do as consistently in the past. I feel like I'll be able to do all of the tricks first try, second try, which means, if I've got 100 jumps, so if every session I can jump 100 times, that means that the more consistent I am, the less jumps I have to spend to get the tricks, which means that I can get my 44 without as many jumps as normal. I'm going to get it in 2 sessions. There's no way I'm going to finish 44 tricks in one day. But I feel like these are the skates that are going to let me do it. The only real difference between these and the Adapts, there's lots of differences. The sole plate is different. The groove is slightly different. The materials are different. The design is different and all that. For me, the big difference between the two is that the Adapts are more comfortable, but these are more forgiving. I feel like I can skate longer in the Adapts. I feel like if I put the Adapts on, they're like a nice running shoe. And it just feels like when I go to Disney with the family, we do 10,000 steps. It's a lot of walking when you go to Disney. And I always make sure that I buy new shoes before I do it. And they're always the lightest shoes that I can find, running shoes that are going to be really supportive, but really lightweight and really comfortable. Those are the sort of shoes that you would want compared to Adapts, where it's a lightweight, comfortable fit. If you're skating all day session, the Adapts are a great fit. These aren't as comfortable as the Adapts. I feel like the squishy in here isn't, it's a lot more stiff, a lot more solid. It doesn't give you the padding, like the pillowy padding that I got in the Adapts. But I feel like I skate better in these. I feel like I can skate more solid. I feel like I get that solid connection to the frame with the carbon that I get in the Adapts. I feel like the sole plate is wide enough, slides fast enough, and it locks good enough like the Adapts. Most important thing, this cuff. So here, the carbon only goes up to about here. So this cuff is material up here. You can see the squish material up here. This cuff allows me to get down low on top sides on Royales, even if I don't lock perfectly. And that to me is the differentiator. The fact that I can recover on tricks that I don't land perfectly with these skates means that I don't have to jump as much and that I'm going to be able to land more tricks with these skates. So I am going to be filming that, hopefully, if the weather allows. I'm going to be filming that this weekend, Saturday, I hope, assuming that it doesn't rain all weekend. It usually has been raining for days here, but I shouldn't have a problem finding some time this weekend. Technically, my birthday is today, but because it's a Wednesday, I'm not going to go out and skate all day. I would love to skate throughout the week, but my daughter actually is out of town, so I got to go pick her up on Friday. So I'm not going to be able to skate on Friday. I wish I could. Saturday or Sunday is when I'm going to skate. I hope that you will cheer me on. I'm not going to live stream it. I'm just going to focus on skating, but I will post a video afterwards. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot. 44 tricks is a lot for me. I think I've got it. I haven't written them all down yet. I've got to write them all down. One of the tricks is make sure that you write them down beforehand. That way you'll remember which tricks you want to do. Otherwise, you're going to forget. And if you forget, you're going to waste time. And you don't want to waste time out there because it's hot. All right, so the Adapts, the USD Carbons, two of my favorite skates. I also skated last weekend after months and months of anticipation. I skated the classic Aaron Feinberg Salomon skates. Oh, these ones. So where to begin with the Salomons? Let me get a drink. This is going to take a little bit. Where to begin with the Salomons? So these were well hyped. I think that there are a ton of passionate fans of the Salomon boot. I think this boot has aged better than any other boot in the industry. The way that the plastic still holds up, the way that the technology still functions the way that it should, is incredible. Salomon really knew what they were doing. The thickness of the plastic, the type of plastic that they used, they really knocked it out the park with this boot. Now, I've upgraded them with king soles. So my friend Andrew Kingery made these king soles. They're sole plates. He donated these skates to me. And he said, you know what, I want you to try king soles. I want you to try Salomons. Here you go. I have this fresh pair. Set me up with king soles. I put on Fitty Fitty frames. Full disclosure, I do own Fitty 50, so these were the frames that I always put on. And I have 60 millimeter 90A wheels with them Fitty Fitty bearings and Fitty Fitty anti-rockers in the middle. It is a great setup. Absolutely great setup. I think that if anybody were looking for a skate, maybe getting back into blading, and they had an old pair in their closet or something like that, they could dust them off, put your foot in, and go out there and skate. The main exception is this shock absorber inside, probably disintegrated. These things didn't last that long, so Andrew swapped the shock absorber out with a Razor's SL shock absorber. Exactly the same. I mean, the height is negligible. Height difference is negligible. The shock is fine. It's a little squishier, I think, than the Salomon shock was, but it's definitely a really good ride. I absolutely loved this skate. I think it was a lot of fun, and I felt like I skated pretty well with it. I was able to do most of my tricks. I felt like it locked my foot in really nicely. Maybe a little bit of wiggle inside, but not much. I think a different liner might be better. Maybe a slightly different shock absorber for me might be better. But loved the way that it buckled up. I loved the way that the laces locked. It felt like it was a really responsive, amazing skate. But it is not for me. I think that they're fine. I think there's a lot of people out there who are very passionate about it. I don't know that it's that big of a deal, though. I think there are a lot of other skates out on the market that are really good. Obviously, the USC 7 for me is the biggest comparable to this. There are differences, of course, but the USC 7 is an amazing hard shell boot. I think if you got a USC 7, put on your shock absorber, your sole plate, you would love it. Any old Salomon rider, put on their shock absorber in that they had in their Salomons, put it in the USC 7. You're going to love it. The sole plate here is great. It's not as good as the USC 7. This king sole is amazing, but that's not normal. Most people don't have king soles. The liner held up great, but again, I don't think there's anything special about the liners. I think just the fact that you can skate this old skate is kind of what people love about it. I don't know that it's that big of a deal, though, for me personally. I prefer my USD carbons. I know that these skates aren't going to get much use here. So, with that being said, it is my birthday today, and rather than get presents, I would rather give away presents. I'm going to be giving away these skates. So, I know that there is a drought of skates out there right now, especially in the size 10 area. If you are a size 10 foot and you want these skates, happy birthday. I'm going to be giving them away. So I spoke with Andrew yesterday and I made sure that he was cool with it, absolutely cool with it. He did gift me these skates. I offered to buy them from him, but he said, no, if they're going to a good home, then let's make sure that we give them to a good home. So these skates are part of today's birthday giveaway. So I have a lot of things that I'm going to be giving away, starting with these Salomons. These are an ST, what are these? The Aaron Feinberg Salomon Pro Model. They are in great condition. Absolutely, you couldn't ask for a better condition Salomon. This shell is the 28-28-5. This liner is the 28-5, which is the size 45 euro and the size 10.5 US. They are a great skate. If you need a new skate, this isn't new, this is a hand-me-down, but if you need new skates, I'm going to be giving them away. I want to make sure that somebody who really needs them gets them, though. And again, this is going to the people who are on the live stream. I told you all to watch. This is for everybody on the live stream. If you want these skates or if you know somebody who needs them, I'm going to do a very similar thing that I do with the helmet giveaway. Pick somebody at random, but the way that you enter is through a web URL. So I'm going to give you the URL afterwards. I want to go through all of the different things that I'm going to be giving away. I'll give you the link at the end of this. I will throw it in the live chat. Type it up real quick. I will throw it in the live chat so that you can click on it. There's no rush, so you can feel free to keep watching. I'm going to pick them at random. Everybody who enters is going to be thrown into a spreadsheet. I'm going to pick them at random, and that's it. Anywhere in the world. So I know that it's going to be more expensive sending them overseas. I don't mind. I think that it's worth it. I probably have some money coming from my mom who's going to throw money in an envelope like she shouldn't. I'm going to donate that to somebody out there and use that money to pay for getting these skates out there. So anywhere in the world, if you need these skates, please stay tuned. I will send you the link in a little bit. These are, again, a size 45 Solomon Aaron Feinberg complete. So it's going to come with a Fitty John Fromm frames, 50, what are these, 60 millimeter 90A wheels, and the black anti-rocker wheels. So they are ready to go. You can put these on your feet and you can go skate. I think that they will find a good home. I think that somebody out there is going to really love them. I know that I respect them, but they're not me. So I want to make sure that they actually go to a good home and somebody actually skates them, rather than sitting on my wall, just sitting there. I already have a pair of Solomons. These are great. I'm going to keep those. They're mint. They're not my size, but I love them, and they're not for skating. These are for skating. So stay tuned for news on how to enter. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's go through the rest of the giveaways so that I can get that thing done with. So we talked about helmets before. This is outside of the Helmet Initiative helmets, but my friends over at Powerslide reached out, and thanks to my friend Mark who made the contact, my friends over at Powerslide have donated a few helmets that I'm also going to be sending out. These are not necessarily production helmets. These are some samples that they had made. They are not adult helmets. They're not. Some of them are kids' helmets. Some of them are adult helmets. They might be released. They might not be released. But they were samples that they were sent to me to give away, and I feel like this is a good opportunity to do that. The first helmet, this is the classic matte gray, matte black helmet. This is a size extra small. It has no brand, so I don't know who makes it. I cannot fit in. I'm checking the sizes just because I don't trust the sticker on the back since these are samples. This is a gray helmet. If you need a helmet and you are an extra small, I don't know what size that means. Keep this in mind. It looks like a solid helmet. It's got a lot of this solid padding. It's probably not going to be the most comfortable helmet, but it's probably going to be a protective helmet. Extra small in matte gray, black. We also have this Ennui helmet. This one's really cool. So I don't know the size of this one. And I don't know what model this is. It's got like a leopard kind of black leopard print. It's shiny leopard print. It's got this red, like soft lining area with the really nice red strap. It's got the Ennui printed on the side. I don't know the size. It fits my head pretty well, and I am a large in a 888, so it fits my head as a large. I think it's a really nice helmet. I think it would find somebody a really good home. It's fairly thin up top. I don't know if it's as crazy certified as the others, but it's super light. And yeah, so this is the Ennui helmet, if this interests you, and if it fits you. Now for the kids, I have this blue helmet. This is a small, it looks like a just a kid's helmet. Maybe it's a small adult size because it kind of fits my head. I don't know the brand. I think, again, this was a sample, so I think it was just a giveaway. But it is adjustable in the back, if that helps. Nice blue helmet. And then finally, everybody's favorite, the Tiger helmet. I don't know what size this is either. It looks really small. I can't fit this one on, but I will hold it here so that people can take screenshots because I know that's what you were going to do. This is a Tiger helmet. I don't know what size it is. It is smaller than this one, and it's smaller than this extra small. So this is probably a kid-size helmet. It looks really solid. So it's got a lot of padding. It's got this really hard foam area, and it's got a friggin' tiger on it with a little nose. So if this interests you, this is another thing that you can put in your name and hopefully win. Finally, for some more fun stuff, everybody needs wheels, especially right now when it's crazy COVID and some people aren't working, but it's a great opportunity to get out and skate. So first, I have a pack of 80mm Raleigh Compass wheels. These are the 80 millimeter 85A. It's a pack of 8. If you can use 80 millimeter wheels, these could be yours. I absolutely love these. I skate these on my ground control frames, the large ground control aluminum UFS frames. Absolutely love them. 85A is a really nice hardness. It's what we do all of our North Carolina series, 85A. It's just really nice and bouncy. So absolutely love these. Compass wheels, 80 millimeter. And then we just got a shipment of the 50/50 58 millimeter 90A wheels. These are the most popular 58 millimeter wheels we have. They're really great. I absolutely love skating these wheels. The 58 90, really good on any flat setup. The profile is a really nice, kind of like a bullet flat profile. Works great on Solas, works great on Aeons, works great on balance frames. You name it. Any of the lower profile frames that require a 58 millimeter wheel or less, these are amazing wheels for that. So the 58 millimeter 90A wheels. So those are all the things. Happy birthday to you all. If you are interested, so here's the way it works. So I have a form on the website. Go to backtoblading.com/birthday. And if you fill out that form, you have the option to pick one of the things that I've talked about. Any of the helmets, any of the wheels, or the skates. I'm going to be choosing somebody at random for each of the things. And you can only enter once. So if I see that people have added multiple emails, don't fake it. This is all for fun. But if I see people adding additional emails, I'm going to delete both of them. So make sure that you only enter once. I'm going to filter out everybody. I'm going to leave it up for a week so that people who listen to the podcast on Monday can enter as well. And please, if you need anything here, put your name in the hat and see if you win. I will take care of shipping. I will ship anywhere in the world for any of these items. The skates, again, are a size 10.5. If you need skates, I encourage people who actually need skates. I know a lot of people watch this show or listen to the podcast who are getting back into it, and they're having a really difficult time finding a size 10. I would much rather give these skates to somebody who doesn't have skates now. If that's you, these are great skates. These would be great starting out skates. The catch is you got to send me some clips of you skating them so that I can share it. That's just the way that it is. You got to do something for it. Anyway, backtoblading.com/birthday. There's no rush to enter. You have all week to enter. I'm going to be choosing the winners on Friday. So feel free to take your time, fill out the information, and if you want to review any of the items, that's cool. But I'm going to pick one of the entries at random for each of the items. Please only enter once, or you will be disqualified. And thanks again. You know, I birthdays are great. My wife gave me a nice set of glasses that I can drink my whiskey out of. And I love her. I love that there's gift giving, but I'm not a big gift receiver. I don't really like getting gifts, but I do love giving gifts. So if you are in need or if you would like one of these items, please backtoblading.com/birthday. I would love to give it to you. And yeah, thanks for all the birthday wishes. It really means a lot. This is a really amazing community, and you know, it's a big world, but it feels really small when you've got people like you out there. So thank you all so much. I hope you win, and I cannot wait to see pictures of y'all skating these skates. All right, let me get some water, and then I'm going to answer some questions. All right, there's going to be a few in the beginning about the audio. I apologize about the audio in the beginning. I'm going to try to clean it up for the podcast. I think it was just a filter that I added. It sounded fine in the recording, but when it was streaming, it must have screwed up. So again, I apologize. Yeah, a lot of sounds. I'm sorry, guys. I think that's not good. Chris Weller asks, does anyone know where I can find the Razor V2, V3 liners? Size 9 is sold out everywhere. Yeah, so I'm assuming that you're talking about the Rain V2 or V3 liners. It's a bloodbath out there trying to find liners. I've had a bunch of people ask me where they can find liners. I don't think there is a good answer. My suggestion would be call the shop that you want to support and ask them when they're going to get them in. I know that Razor's Sunshine had some shipping problems because they got stuck with COVID. So the factory that they use was shut down much longer than necessary. Well, maybe not necessary. Take that back. Longer than they had anticipated. So they had a delay in getting the Derek Henderson skates out here in the white SLs. On that shipment, I think they had some SL or some Rain V3 liners, but they sold out so quickly. And now they're making more. So after they make more, they have to send them back. It takes a long time to get things made and sent over from China, especially now because everybody has this bottleneck of trying to get product in from China and sent over. My recommendation is find a shop that you like, give them a call, guaranteed that each of the shops is probably going to get about the same amount of items. They're all ordering as much as they can. Give them a call and ask when they are getting them in, and ask if you can pre-order. Liners are super important to find good ones, and I feel strongly that the Rain V3 is one of the best liners out there. Definitely one of the best liners for the money. If you need to find a nice, comfortable liner, highly recommend the Rain V3. It is worth waiting for. Give a shop a call and see if they'll help you out. It's not something that they're going to list on the website for obvious reasons, but if you give them a call and you find somebody to talk to, or you send them a message, that's probably the best way to find them. I wish you luck. It's going to be hard. We're doing okay with Fitty Fitty and Compass, but we were shut down for 2 months as well. So it's just, we're doing the best that we can as suppliers to get more product out here. Nobody was expecting this boom. Nobody was expecting thousands of new bladers to come back and thousands of new bladers to want to start skating. It's been a really huge, amazing time for the industry, but of course we're not ready for this. So thank you for your patience. Speaking for everybody, thank you for your patience. We're doing our best that we can, and yeah, especially the shops. Like, communicate with the shops. They will let you know everything that they know. Good question. Adam Tomlinson. I bought some Fitty Fitty frames for some shadows, but the back bolt seems too long when screwed in all the way. Sticks up 3 millimeters. Is that a problem for my liner? No, but it is probably wrong. Make sure that you send me. So we do sell aftermarket bolts. The bolts that come in the box are designed for like 90% of skates. That doesn't mean that they're going to fit your skates. So a few of the major culprits, the Adapts take 25 millimeter bolts, 25. That's way too long for us to just throw in. We don't include 25s in the box. We do 14s and we do 20s. That fits most skates. So the 14s are like the standard size. Almost every skate fits a 14. The 20s are like if you have a raised heel. So like a rollerblade, new jack. What else takes a 20? The old 909s, I think 908s took a 20. I think the 909s take a 14 now. There were a few other skates that had a raised area in the back. I think the Rossies take a 20. Anytime you have a raised heel, usually it's like a 20 in the back. If you still have all of those 14s, those should work. If you can't find 4 14s though, I do have 12s that I can send out. If you go to the balancedist.com, balancedist.com website, you can find special use frame bolts. That's the easiest way. I charge $2 for them, but I cover the shipping. So really, I end up, shipping's like $3-4. So I end up losing $2 on the deal. But I'll send out some bolts if you need them. Place an order. Just let me know that you need them, and I'll send them out the next day. That's the best thing to do. If the bolts feel like they're too long or too short, it's not you, it's me. The frame bolts that come with the Fitty Fitty frames should fit everything. They don't fit everything though. So if you are one of those exceptions, just let me know. Send me a message or fill out the form and buy them on the website, and we'll get them out to you. Thanks for asking. It's something that I don't want to waste. I don't like being wasteful. I don't want to throw every single bolt in a bag because then there's just like tons of bolts out there and it's expensive. It's like, I'll cover 90%. If there's more people who need bolts, just let me know. You message me and I'll hook it up. Chris Pauly says, back to Blading Studios needs an engineer. No doubt. If I had somebody here in the studio, I would be a happy boy. Someday, right? That's the dream, where I can have an actual office, move the wall out of my garage into an actual office, have a nice warehouse that I can invite people over for sessions. Don't get me started, Chris. It'll happen someday. That's the dream. Bryce, do they make each pair of those adapts specially molded to each customer's foot? No, they don't. But they do make each of these based on demand. So if they get a lot of orders for size 44, they'll make a 44, 44, whatever. When you place the order, you have to measure your foot. I haven't placed the order. So again, these were hand-me-downs. These were Steve John's. I bought them from him. When you place the order for the boots, you put in your foot measurement and then they confirm it, and there's like communication. It's not just like placing an order and you get a box. There's a communication, make sure that everything fits right. Their sizing is very specific, and you need to make sure that you get the right size. If you get an adapt that's too big, you're going to have a less than ideal experience. They always recommend that you get the right size for your foot, if not a little smaller, so that it will fit properly. I don't know of anybody who has had a foot mold done and then made their adapts around it. I bet that there is somebody who's done it. Probably if you're in Europe, I think they're in Copenhagen. I don't know where they are. But if you were out there, maybe you could go to Adapt. Maybe you could get your foot measured and molded and then have a custom set of Superleggeras made or something like that. I would imagine that's a fairly expensive process and time consuming. But it is more than just saying, I want this size. I think they have every size. You just measure your foot, send them your measurements, and they'll figure out which one you need. Denzes, have you ever tested youth frames? I have not. There's a lot of frames out there that I haven't skated. I feel like it's kind of a conflict of interest that I review other frames. I don't want to speak poorly on anything, and I don't want to lie if I don't like them. I know what I like. I know that the frames that I've skated and that I continue to skate, I like. I really like the Wish frames. I really like the Kaiser Fluid 4 frames. I think those are the two, for me, plastic frames that I have skated that I really like. I haven't skated youth frames. I don't really know that I'm going to skate youth frames. Again, I don't, same with wheels. I don't know that I'll be reviewing wheels because I don't want to, I want to make sure that Fitty Fitty is not pushed, and in that respect, other frame companies aren't pushed down. You know, I want to make sure that there's no bias and there's no conflict of interest. So I won't be reviewing those things. I try to disclose as much as I can that I own Fitty Fitty and that they're the frames that I prefer. It's weird because I designed the frames, so it's kind of of course they're the ones that you prefer, you made them, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly it. I don't know that there's going to be another frame that I'm going to review. Maybe big wheel frames when I can go out and do that. I have reviewed like the Kaiser Arrows and the Ground Control Trimax or the Tri-Skate frames. I reviewed the Kaiser Trimax as well. I don't feel like there's any conflicts there. But reviewing aggressive frames, specifically flat, low profile aggressive frames, I feel like that can be a bit of a conflict. So I'm not going to do those, but from what I've heard, they're fine. I am very excited about the new Them frames. I think that the Them frames look really good. I haven't skated them, probably won't skate them, but when they come out, I think a lot of people are going to like them, but I haven't skated them yet. K-Steezy 69, oh, okay. I recently ordered some Caltic frames and Fitty Fitty 60mm 88A wheels from Oak City for my flat setup. Can't wait to run them on the pump, track, and bowls. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the support, and they're a great profile for a flat setup. I just like I was talking about, I've not skated the Cultic frames. Take that back. I did skate the Cultic V2s once. I have not skated them intensely to really have an opinion. But from what I've heard, they are a great flat frame. With the wheel bite protection, it feels like you can do most of the tricks that you were able to do without having to worry about sticking doo-doo wheels. The 60 millimeter wheels are a good profile. It's a nice round profile, and I love 88A. I feel like that's the best mix between the bounce that you get with the 85A, but the durability that you get with a 90A. So I hope you like them. Try these with a Fluid 4 Blader manual. Try these with a Fluid 4. I know it's a different groove, but much closer to the boot. I think he's talking about the adapts. Yeah, these Fluid 4s are great. The size of this H-block and the depth of this groove is really good, especially for the adapts. I have skated the adapts with something with a deeper groove. I know that it's a much better feeling. So, yes, that is one way around it. I think something with a deeper groove would work well. Again, my thoughts on the adapts are they're not the perfect skate for me. That's not to say that they're not the perfect skate for you. Just like skating these Kaiser Fluids, that wouldn't be the perfect frame for me. It might be the perfect frame for you. I absolutely love the Kaiser Fluid 4s. I think they're a really great frame. I prefer the balance frame. I think the groove is a little tighter, and that's what I like. But your mileage may vary. Good suggestion, though. And yeah, it's interesting to think that the adjustment in the height of the groove can really change the way that you do your tricks and make them a lot easier for people who might not skate as often, might not have the strength in that quad core area to stay down low on a Royale. Gives you a little bit more wiggle room so that you can lock tricks a little more consistently. $714K JK. Consider you have skated MyFit Intuition and Rain liners. Those Salomon liners are 20 years old. Absolutely. I don't know that that's a question, but yes. A lot of people recommended that I swap my Rain liners, put my Rain V3s into the Salomons. That would be my next step. So if I weren't giving them away, I would definitely put the Rain V3s inside those skates. I love those liners. I would also swap out that heel rise with the Civica one that comes in the USD 7. I think that's the much better ride for me. I did feel like I was leaning forward too much. But between those two, absolutely. I think that would be a really great setup for me. If I were looking for a hard shell boot, I would probably stick with that setup. Sean Michelson, from this day forward, you shall be dubbed Santa Law. All right, well, I appreciate that. Again, I love giving away. I try to give all my content away. I try to give things away. I hope that people appreciate it, and I hope that you enter. Remember, backtobleeding.com/birthday if you're interested in any of the things. And yeah, I don't know. Stuff is stuff. You know, I have a lot of skates on the wall, and I speak to each of the skates, and I can compare because people ask questions. When I have duplicates of things, I don't really need that. So I'd rather give it away to people. I give away used wheels and frames all the time. It's just, I would rather promote skating and get people skating more than just shove it in a closet and leave it for, I don't know. I had a big box of Fitty stuff in a closet for 20 years. Did nothing, gave it all away. So that's the way to be. I think if I can help other people get into skating or continue skating, yeah, it makes me happy. Fat Clo Win 1. Did you get the new color frame in? No. So we do have a few frames that came in. So we just got a shipment, an air shipment of the black frames. Those came in last week, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. And that was a busy week. Man, what a busy week. So we got 100 frames in. They're all gone. So I didn't keep any. I didn't sell any direct. They're all at all the shops, and I could sell more if I had them. we have an ocean shipment. So the way that shipments usually work, all of our frames are made in China. They have always been made in China. We moved our factory, so we had a factory making the original frames for the original black frames, the pre-UFS frames. Those were made in California. When we started working with USD, we moved we moved the frame mold from California to China so that it was in the same factory as the USD throne. The reason for that was we wanted to make it cheaper for USD to order frames. If they needed frames, they could just get frames, and they would just credit us for the amount of frames that they needed. Really great situation, made things so much easier for production. It made shipping more expensive, but we were able to get frames much cheaper made, which is where we were able to bring out all of the different colors and all the different sizes, and then eventually do UFS and all that stuff. So we've stuck with the same factory or two over the last 20 some odd years, 25 years. When you produce things in China, there's two ways of getting them, by ocean or by air. And air shipments are extremely expensive. So to put things in perspective, usually I bring in around 300 sets of frames, and bringing them in by ocean is like $1,000, $1,500, anywhere between there. The rates change, but say about $1,000. If you brought in those frames, those 300 frames by air, it would be probably around $2,000, maybe $2,500. So you could do the math, and you could see that real quickly, you're getting to like $8, $9 for a set of frames, just shipping it from the factory. It can be super expensive. So I did not ship everything from the factory. I shipped exactly what I thought I could sell because I knew that shops needed product. So we had the black frames finished at the factory, and I was like, well, how do I get them here quickly? I'm going to bring 100 in, and then I've got another few hundred coming by ocean. They will be here at the end of the month. We have a few different colors coming at the end of the month. We have black, we have more white frames. So we have a legit white frame. So the John Fromm frame, this is not a white frame. This is like an off-white. This on the Solomon, this is a white frame. And you could see the difference. This is more like I was calling it like a cloud white. It's a very tan, like grayish white. These are like a bright white. Very different. I actually prefer the Fromm frames. I feel like it's just so bright for me. But we do have more of these white frames coming in. They're going to be on the ocean shipment with the black frames. They'll be here at the end of August. So if you're looking for white frames and you don't want the John Fromm frames, or if I think they're almost sold out. So if they're almost sold out, we will have white frames available shortly, probably in September. We do have another color coming. Not going to announce that yet, but it will be on that same shipment. So yes, we have more colors coming. No, I don't have them in stock yet. No, you won't hear about them until we are ready to release. It's the way it works. But I was very fortunate to get ahead of production so that I had things coming in so that when we are ready to release, we will have a new frame available. It sucks not having inventory. I'm very fortunate to have the inventory that I have and a continual flood of inventory coming in. So once these black frames and white frames come in, I should be in a really good place to continue ordering and continue getting things in so that I have things before I need them, rather than doing the pre-order thing where things get delayed and all that. It's a nightmare, but I'm getting much better about the logistics side of things. Thanks for asking, though. I will definitely announce the new frames when they come in here on Gear Talk, and I will talk about them, but I'm not ready to yet. Charlie's Leroy, what's your favorite whiskey? Well, I don't really want to talk alcohol on this show. I do Elijah Craig. That's my favorite bourbon. If I don't want to talk alcohol, but if you do have questions, I'm more than happy to chat. Post a comment on the YouTube or whatever, and I will talk to you. Tristan asks, are you going to be doing this Sway Them mod? Oh, put the Sway Soul Plate on the Them 909. I might. I still have my 909s. They're inside. I still have my 909s. I haven't skated them lately. It's actually a really good idea. So I might do that. I'm going to be doing for the next 2 weeks, skating the USD Carbons, but maybe I'll skate those after. I don't have another aggressive skate lined up. So that's a really good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Thank you for that. That's a good suggestion. Wake Up Dog asks, question, what material are the Fitty Fitty frames made of? Are they UHMD? I think UHMW is what you're saying. No, they are a nylon. It's a special blend of nylon that we use for injection molding. Every company has their own special blend of different materials that they use for frames. I don't know that's top secret, but it's not something that we really talk about. Some companies use, what's it called? Is it it's the one that Rollerblade uses. I can't remember. There's like a DuPont brand name of nylon. It's very similar to that, but it's not the DuPont brand name that we use. UHMW is an interesting one. UHMW is a material that we used to use on our grind plates. We use them on the anti-rocker wheels. So this is UHMW. UHMW is really good about sliding. It's a self-lubricating plastic. The problem with UHMW is that it's soft. So if you made UHMW frames for like this area where the wheel well hits, after doing gaps, all of that pounding will slowly open up the channel and make it so that the axles click around inside. Like instead of a circle, it'll open it up so that it's like whoosh, like that. And then the axle will move around a little bit. We used to have UHMW frames. The first Fitty Fitty frames were machined out of UHMW. They slide amazing, but because they're so soft, when you do gaps, when you do skating, if you're a bigger dude, landing and opening up those axles, it makes a clacking sound. It's not okay. So don't use UHMW for frames. You can use them for grind plates. You can use them for H-blocks, but I wouldn't use them for frames. I think I am caught up. Maybe. Going through a couple questions. YouTube is acting so funny with me right now. Like it's jumping around and it's not jumping around. All right. Mr. Darren 25, what's your take on 84A wheels? With the wheel shortage going on, I've resorted to using 59mm roller hockey wheels. What's my take? I mean, I think that's fine. 84A is fine. It's a little soft. I make 85A wheels, and it's fine. Realize that 84A is mostly designed for wood surfaces, slick surfaces. So if you do recreational skating, you'll find 85A, you'll find 82A, things like that. Those are fairly soft. They're designed for skating flat. You're going to wear faster with a softer, typically you're going to wear faster with a softer wheel than you will with a harder wheel. And the problem is, if you skate anti-rocker, double that. So you are going to wear down those 84A wheels faster than you would an 88A or a 90A. Not that that's a problem. I don't know. I think those Lebeda 59s, I don't know that that's what you need. They're usually that really bullet goalie profile. I don't think you're going to have a problem finding. I mean, I don't know if you need 59s. There's plenty of 60s out there, or 58s. I mean, you can find my wheels, and they're definitely harder. If you want to try them, that's cool. I don't know that that's designed for what you want though. I'm less worried about the 84A than I am about the goalie 59mm wheel. Oh, a super chat. Hey Nathan, thank you. I hope that's for the giveaway so that I can mail some things. Thank you so much. And a super chat from Kai. Happy birthday. You deserve it. Love sitting down to watch Gear Talk every now and then. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I love doing it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it. I don't do it for the money. If I did, I would stop working my normal job, but I can't do that. Blader Manual. Maybe a Sola frame would provide more space on the sole of the 909. Yeah, so Sola frames are fairly thin. I think they're 4 mil frame wall. They don't have juice bumps. They don't have the big bulge like a Wish frame or like Fitty Fitty frames do. There's ways to make 909s work, obviously. I mean, some of the best skaters in the world skate 909s. It wasn't for me, though. I felt like the sole needed to be a little bigger for the way that I skated. And that's what's so amazing about the way that things are right now. We have so many options that you can go out there and skate and you can say, yeah, this needs to be a little bigger, or this needs to be a little faster, or this angle needs to be a little lower. And you can find a product that fits your exact skating style. I would love nothing more than someday to have, maybe at the warehouse, right, have a wall of different products. Maybe I'll work with Long at Oak City on this. Wall of different products, and have somebody do, like, come in with their skates, right, and do a few grinds. Like do a Royale, do a top acid, or a top sole or whatever. Do a sole grind, and let's take a look at the video and see what you did. And it's like, okay, here it looks like you missed. You could do a little bigger sole. Or here it looks like you're struggling getting down on your Royale. Let's try these frames that have a slightly lower groove and see if you can get boot down with that. Like, there's ways that you can tweak the product, the gear, so that it can make skating easier and then ultimately more enjoyable for people. I think we're kind of past that, freestyle frames or cheater frames setup sort of vibe. I don't think anybody cares anymore. I just want to help people skate. And the more tricks that you can do, especially nailing a trick and feeling comfortable and solid on a trick, nothing worse than having this squirrely Royale, like bad posture, bad angle. You try to do something like that on a P-rail without getting boot down. Like, have you seen people do Royales without getting boot down on P-rails? They slip out fast. I've been there. Like, if you don't know how to do a proper Royale, P-rails can be dangerous. I want to help people so that you get that proper stance, so that you get that muscle memory when you're doing a Royale, when you're doing a topside trick. You're doing it right. You're doing your sole, you're falling up, like boning over the rail so that you can really lock on solid. There's a lot of techniques that you can get. And I think gear, the right gear, making sure that you have the right skates and the right sole plates, I think that can really help with skating and educating. So that's my dream. It might happen someday. I encourage everybody to come on out and visit. Maybe after this COVID stuff, I'll get the warehouse open and I'll have an open house so we can all skate with the Back to Blading warehouse and my engineer helping me with audio issues. Sean Michelson, Zytel. Yes, it is Zytel. Good call. Thank you, Sean. Hey, super chat from Jump Street. Austin, probably. Hey, what's the story with how UFS got started? Good question. Solomon made the first frames, but who were the people who decided it was going to be an industry standard? Why did you have the say? Did I have a say? It's a long topic. I got into it a little bit last 2 weeks ago on Gear Talk, talking about these Solomons. So these were, I'll rehash it really quick. These were the first UFS skates. These were the Aaron Feinberg Solomons. They came out in 2001. We came out with our frames around the same time. So Solomon was the first. They were the ones who had the first skate and therefore had the first frames because it came on the skate. The short story was Solomon wanted to do something good in the industry, and they wanted to get Fitty Fitty frames on their skates. You remember the USD Thrones, all of these came with Fitty Fitty frames, or they came with a variety of frames, but Fitty Fitty frames were probably the predominant ones. And Solomon saw this and was like, hey, we want those frames. And these frames came to them and said, hey, you don't have a raised heel boot. Because if you look at the USD Throne, you can see that this Fitty Fitty frame is designed for a raised heel boot. So this area back here is taller than this area back here, which is small. Very similar to typical, like if you look at a raised heel boot on rec, you can see that the back is taller than the front. It's the same concept here with this one. Salomon changed the game and they said, nope, we're going to do it flat. So they had a flat boot. And they were one of the first skates that had a flat boot. And the way that they got this raised heel was they added a shock absorber in the back. The problem is, while this was a better design, it made aftermarket frames really weird. So you could make a Salomon adapter for a Fitty Fitty frame, but it would be super tall in the front. And nobody wanted that. So Salomon came to us and they said, hey, we would love to put your frames on the skates, but they're going to look silly. Why don't we come up with a standard so that we could mount all frames on all skates? And Salomon did the right thing. I don't know who started those talks, how those all talks started. I think Jess was more involved at that time than I was. But it was definitely myself and Jess for Fitty Fitty, Matthias from USD, Andy at Sunshine. I think Shane was there from Mind Game. I don't think he was Mind Game. Maybe it was Senate at the time. Maybe Medium or Senate. Salomon was there. Arla was there with Senate. I think Ezekwe was there, who eventually started Able, 7XL, then Able. So we had a bunch of people who were interested in doing something. I think Rollerblade got involved as well. Ultimately, it was Salomon that did most of the heavy lifting in the CAD drawing, but it was all of us who had input. We all came to the table with a design for a flat frame and presented our drawings and said, hey, this is what we think, this is what we think. I did the drawings for our flat frame, and it looked very similar to UFS. It was 2 bolts. I don't know what the spacing was, but I can dig it up. I do have the original drawing still. And a lot of our ideas came together and created this Salomon skate. That was the first skate, and that's where Kaiser came and Ground Control came, and then Fitty Fitty UFS, and then 7XL and Able and all that. So Salomon definitely was the first that pioneered UFS. They were in a better position because they already had a flat boot. It was really easy for them. All they needed to do was swap out the base plates from their sole frame, which was the frame and the base plate combined, to just base plates and then create a frame. Everybody else had to modify their boots or had adapters. Nobody really had anything until the TRS Access came out. So when the Rollerblade TRS Access came out, that was probably one of the first UFS built skates outside of the Salomon. Everything else kind of had adapters and everything. And then, you know, you'd have the Razors SL, you'd have the, I don't think the UFS Thrones. Eventually you would have the Rossi's Cooties, I think, were the first UFS ones. And then I don't know what the K2 one, probably a fatty. They were probably the last. K2 was kind of the last. They didn't really want to play ball and work with us, but they ended up going UFS eventually, and then they killed their aggressive program, so there's that. But great question. There is a video about the history of UFS that I get into, and there was a really good podcast that we had our friend Mark on. Ben and I talked for hours about the history of frame design, and we talked about UFS, past, present, and we speculated on the future of UFS, what UFS 2 could be, and if it's even necessary. And it's a really good listen. It's pretty old now, but I think it still holds up. And if you're looking for something to do during shutdown, it's a good way to do it. Great question, and thanks for the support. All right, one more question. Kai asks, have you seen the new Rossi's liner? I have. Not in person. I saw the pictures. Sure looks like an Intuition, doesn't it? I have my Intuitions here, I think. Yeah. So these are them Intuitions. These are, I mean, they look very similar to this. It is this similar like toe area with the stitching. It has a little bit more lacing that goes around. But really, it looks very similar to this Intuition. I think it's amazing that Rossi's is getting into the liner game. They've always made really quality liners. Even their cheap ones, these Valo Alex Proskal liners. Ugh. Even these were very good. Like, for being a cheap liner, absolutely nothing wrong with this. I love that they're coming out with a liner. I love that they're trying to find that market. I think when Intuition came out and people were writing Intuition liners, people kind of shrugged it off. You know, it was before I came back, so I came back and they were already there. But from everything that I had read, people shrugged it off and said, why would anybody want a liner that's $200? Why would anybody want to spend that much on a liner? Like an aftermarket liner, why would you do an aftermarket liner? Who cares? Obviously, there's been aftermarket liners in the past. There was Rain, there was Jug, there was the Senate liner. I have those. I have these over here. I have all my liners. So I have these Senate liners, which were not comfortable, very stiff, kind of walkable. Have Allen keys in them sometimes. Way over-engineered, but they needed to make a statement that, yeah, aftermarket liners were a thing, and we're gonna make them popular. These things would probably hurt your feet if you tried to skate them, though. But it's come full circle, and now everybody is like, oh, Intuition liners are amazing, and you can see that they're coming in the Them 909s. They came in the Them 908s, the U1s. That is a huge shift, and I think that Rosie's is smart, and they said, we make really good liners. What if we made a really great liner and we offered it aftermarket? Now, it's going to be $170, I think, which is a lot of money. $180? $170, $180? It's a lot of money. Intuitions are $200. Again, I haven't skated Intuitions that fit my feet yet. I have a hard time recommending a $200 liner for the simple fact that I don't think that I can tell the difference. And I don't know that I skate well enough to deserve that level of quality. Like, I don't know that it's... I don't know. People say that they're life-changing and that you skate Intuitions and they're amazing. I haven't had that experience because I haven't skated a liner that fit my foot right. I can tell you that I trust the people who skate them, and they skate all different liners, and they tell me what they feel. Like, they wouldn't lie about it because they're not getting kickbacks or anything from Intuition. Like, why would they lie about it, right? People love their Intuition liners, so there's got to be something going on there. I think that Rosie sees that, and they say, we can make a great liner. We're going to come out with it. I think it's great. Again, I think anything that you can do to make skating better for people, I'm all for it. I think the higher price point items, the Sola frames, the Adapts, the Intuition liners, absolutely love that. The dual durometer wheels, like, do it, you know? If we could push technology, if we could push customization and handcrafted goods into skating, like, that's a dream. Like, we never had that growing up. It was, you know, you were lucky. You were lucky if you could figure out how to skate. I mean, we used to use broken big wheels as our anti-rocker wheels because we couldn't find them. We used the friggin' wrench that came in the box as a grind plate because our frames keep breaking. Like, there's so much progression in the sport. It's amazing to see that there is a market of older skaters who have disposable income that they can spend $200 for a set of liners. I don't know if Rosie's is going to be successful here. I think that they're probably going to make a really good product. I don't know if I will try them. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. But I think, you know, more power to them. I think they make great liners, and if they can do an aftermarket, why not? All right, I think I am good. I'm starting to lose my voice. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Again, just a few reminders. Helmet initiative. So if you need a helmet, please leave a comment in the video. This goes to anybody who legitimately wants a helmet. I was thinking reliably, but reliably is the wrong word. Legitimately wants a helmet and will wear a helmet. I want to try to spread the word that helmets are not weird. They are necessary for you to keep yourself from getting hurt if you hit your head. If you need a helmet, leave a comment and say that you need a helmet. I'm going to give away 2 helmets for every of these Gear Talks. Just leave a comment and say, hey, I need a helmet. And I'll go and find 2 people at random. I'll leave a comment, let you know how to get in contact with me. For any of the birthday items, backtoblading.com/birthday. We've got helmets, we've got wheels, and we've got the skates. I'm sure that more people are going to try to get the skates. That's cool. You can only register for 1 item. So if you want any of the items, make sure that you register. Only register once or you'll get disqualified. Good luck. I will cover all the shipping and everything. If you're international, I cannot cover customs charges or VAT. I will put that they are used products, and I will put them as gifts. But again, I can't handle. I don't know what your customs is going to say or anything. But I'll mark them as cheap, and I'll do what I can to get them into your country. Anything else? It's my birthday. Thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. Happy birthday to everybody else who's celebrating. I will be skating this weekend and trying to get my 44 tricks, and I will probably get 30. That's my guess. I'll probably get 30, and then I'll dig deep next weekend and get the last 14. But that's my goal. I want to get the 44. I think that I can do it. I'm going to be riding the USD Carbons. I feel like that is the right setup for me to get these tricks. Looking forward to hearing everybody talk about the skates. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great week. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're wearing your masks when you go outside. It is still dangerous out there. Wear your mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Like, super easy to do. Social distance. If you go to the skate park, stay away from everybody. If you can't stay away from everybody, don't go to the skate park. It's not that important. Skate around your neighborhood, get some big wheels. Don't get sick. We don't want to spread this thing. We don't want to get more people sick. We want more bladers, not less. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in 2 weeks.